Hello everyone, I am Sacred and thank you for joining me in another mod spotlight in Hearts of Iron 4. Today I am going to review the, fairly freshly released mod called English Ming and Qing China. Well, this is just a translation version of the English Ming, of the Ming and Qing China mod. Which is, on Chinese only, so, good luck playing with that if you don't know Chinese. Therefore, a translation has been released, and then, the mod is in English, then making it actually playable for us, I would say, unless you know Chinese. And to everyone, I was on vacation for the last 3-4 days, therefore I wasn't able to, make new videos. The old videos I had uploaded since the last 3 days, they were all scheduled. I recorded them like 4 or 5 days earlier, 4 days earlier. But now I'm back and I will also respond to the comments you wrote. I have like 60, 70, or maybe 100 new notifications. I have to, take a look, because I'm taking a look at everything. And as always, if you want to support me, feel free to check out my Patreon link. It's down below in the description as always. So, let's see here. New game. We have the Gathering Storm scenario. Gathering Storm. Dark times are coming. Well, that's the normal scenario. What am I reading this? Yeah, that's the normal one. Therefore, you can't select the 1939 scenario. So keep that in mind. You can't select the 1939 one. Yeah. Alright. I just disabled flux, if you noticed. Yeah. Better if I do so. So, now we have two new major powers. On one side we have the Ming, led by Yu Rong. Non-aligned, authoritarian, never led by the Zhou imperial family. Well, she looks not bad, yeah. Since the division of China in 1644, the king has the biggest threat to the Ming. Although the Ming won in World War I, okay, so there was a conflict between the Ming and Qing apparently. The Northland still belongs to the Mongolians. Also the King of Mongolians, well, that's interesting. After the Great Depression swept the world, the Ming included, the domestic communists began to seek a revolution and overthrow the monarchy meanwhile. In the Qing? No, Ming, alright? Meanwhile, the world situation began to destabilize. The king starts to move restlessly. Now the Ming must decide how to proceed in the chaos. Well, the king, they are communists, led by Giro Puji, non-aligned authoritarian led by the Giro imperial family. Since China's division in 1644, the king has helped to eliminate the southern Ming. In the last war, the king joined Germany, but they suffered a humiliating defeat and lost many things. After the war, the king were bordering on danger. The domestic Han nationalists began to stir, but the king emperor was a weak yes man. Fortunately, the Great Depression made their southern neighbors too weak to attack. After rearming, the Qing army was once again at full strength. So now, maybe the time to resolve domestic issues and take the south. Now you can either play as the Qing or as the Ming. Well, let's see. According to the mod translation, you have to subscribe to the normal mod Ming and Qing China though. Therefore, I will include two links to the normal Ming and Qing China and to the translation to the English version. So let's see, remember to subscribe to both of this mod and the original Ming and the Qing China mod, as all this is translate the mod and still requires the original to function. A simple warning, who want to use this. I do not speak any Chinese. This mod was done about 95% with machine translators. Oh, alright, so yeah. I use two translators and the website to look up individual characters. Around 5% of the translation was done asking my father, who knows Chinese, and a little was done by the original mod author and their friend. Everything should be translated into, at the very least, readable and understandable English. Some things might not have been given a meaning, but in pinyin, romanization of Chinese characters. Some things might not look perfect. Let me know if you see anything in the translation that is off, such as something that doesn't read quite right. If you do report something like this, please include what the actual text says and where you see it, such as inside an event description or inside of the boxes you click on an event, etc. Thanks, and I hope you will enjoy the mod. So that's great, a great effort to first, well, in the first place the mod developer, who is Chinese, and secondly to this mod translator. Yeah, we should check them out. So let's take a look to the, well, the countries first. So that's, well, America and Europe hasn't changed, but Asia changed immensely. So it's a complete new theater. It would be right to say that it's a complete new theater. For example, Japan. Japan controls the Soviet areas of Vladivostok, etc. I don't know how they got this though. Vladivostok and this full Sakhalin and Kuril Islands. They also control this island here, which I don't know its name, but I thought it was half controlled by the Australians and half by the Dutch, but now it's all Japanese. Interestingly, then we have the Ming East Indies, which are a puppet, actually a puppet of the Ming. Then we have the Luzon, which are who are a puppet as well of the Ming, so that's interesting. Then the Ming also have Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia and Siam as a puppets, are making Ming a major power in the Asian theater. We shouldn't fear Japanese invasion, I think. And then we have the King. The King, well, they are on their own, they have no allies or no puppets, so let's get straight into it and let's take a look to the King's focus tree first, and if we have time, let's play as one of these countries and see how far we can come on the highest speed. Alright, so that's the King. The Japanese troops are still on soil, but you shouldn't fear Japanese invasion, I think, like Chinese border incidents. China doesn't exist, therefore the Japanese focus tree is broken, that's for sure. Alright, poor China. So the King, let's see, the King, they have in total 55 factories, of whom 24 are military, 2 naval and 29 civilian. They have a standing army of 987,000, air force of 24,000, navy of 41,300. So they have 76 ships, which is a quite nice amount. There we go. Then, well, their core population, of course, like for Chinese, that's normal. They have 210.58 million as their core population. Yeah, that's quite a bit. And, well, their national immunity is quite low with only 40%. It's because of the buff they get, of the nerf they get, because of the resistance of the Han people. Alright, so I'm sorry if I'm not that good right now. I just came back from my vacation. It's really late here, but I have to do an episode for you guys, so please, for you ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So let's see, divided China. AI revision. Alright, whatever. So now here's the focus tree. Well, the focus tree is quite huge. You see it stretches all the way from the left to the right side. Let's start on the right. On the right you can, well, this path is mainly for the Air Force. Then with this path you can get 3 naval dockyards as well as research boning. And here you can, get land doctrine boning and some sport equipment research. And on this focus tree path you can expand your industry heavily. How you can see, you can get lots of, well, oil in the first instance, oil and steel, and also southern var and light plant industry. Well, this focus is probably one of the most important ones. In this focus, you can decide if you either want to, well, acknowledge the Emperor's power, which will lead you towards the unaligned path, which I, well, would say it's quite boring. Yes, of course, you can go for that. Or you can go for the fascist path, which would mean that you would support a military government. So, you have the path here of either, say, power to the monarchy, or to acknowledge the Emperor's power. So that's the power to the whole monarchy, and that's the power to only one person. So like Hitler has done it in his Germany. As path it will be. Then if you go the left path, you can go either democratic or communist. Workers' rights, or open to the wisdom of the people, or absolute monarchy, or sport and military government. So you can either go fascist, non-aligned, democratic, or communist. On the second row, you can choose of getting even more advisors, advisors for the fascists or non-aligned, or Democrats or communists. I think the AI may go the absolute monarchy path, I'm not sure, since normally I think the AI may go this path, I'm not sure. And on the last way, that's interesting, revolution, return to Hubei you have to do in order to get this. Completing this national policy will launch a civil war for the Communism Party. The scale of the civil war will depend on the support of the party. Oh, so be aware of that. Well, here you will go democratic. Here just removes 5 humans, people, blah. And here the Manchu and the Han people. And lastly, you can decide of absolutely if you had been victorious as the communists, then for the victory of the communist people, the communism new righteousness. This doesn't make any sense, I think. The communism new righteousness, alright. Or long of the empire. So either a fascist path where you have to conquer the Ming, or where you have to be communist. And then you can decide of joining the Kuomintang, joining the Allies, but you have to be democratic for this, communist for this. King Core, you can join, create your own faction, or join the Axis. A war against Japan, war with Britain, and war with the Soviet Union. Well, that's about the political focus tree of the Qing Empire. Then the Empire's ambition. Here you can choose as well of either doing a palace, but the palace, I think they mean palace, or palance, alright. Chuatong Palace Coup, where, yeah, it's palace, because it says gets event palace rebellion, so you would, well, or you could go with the loyalty to the emperor, but if you go this path, well, you would mainly get non-aligned, and yeah, you know how boring that is. Then return to Hubei, which you need for this event. You return to Hubei. Then eliminate the false Ming, where you'll get a war goal against the Ming. You're gonna reward the soldiers, tough ruling, or temperate ruling. Alright, China Unified, where, well, you can only get this path after you conquered the the Ming, and conquer Zhongga and North and the South Unites. After a long running period, the southern regions can finally integrate into the country. So here you would, I think, get a core on all of China. And you could go to war against the Tibetans as well. So that's about the Qing. Well, in this playthrough we are going to play as the Ming, since their focus tree, if you take a brief look, is far bigger, far deeper and far bigger than the Qing ones, especially this path, especially the politics part. So we'll go for this one. But first, it's always, I will not review them how I did right now, because we will play as them and see how we can do. Our time should be enough to get a decent playthrough. Alright, let's start a new game actually as the Ming. I'll do historic focus because I want to see what the AI is programmed for when we go historic as when the King goes historic. So we're gonna play as the Ming, as Yu Rong. Select the country. We're gonna play on regular with historical air focuses, and let's get right into the game then. So, but you might think, oh, that's easy. No, it is not. Well, we have 62 factories. We have more than the King. We also have a slightly higher manpower of 266 million. Nevertheless, we have a Great Depression in Ming. Let's take a look. Great Depression in Ming. The Great Depression of 1929 has a tremendous impact on the Ming. Our political and economic stability have been weakened significantly. Yeah, look to that. Political focus plus 2.5. Consumer goods plus 25%. Minus 50% factor. Minus 25% for factory output and dockyard output. And after all, we have to get rid of this Great Depression for the Ming. We are the victims of the World War since we won against the King. Divided China in the 17th century. Jiangping King Zheng wrote a poem to motivate our people not to forget our Northland. This poem is now our national anthem. We should follow our predecessor to fight against Manchu and restore our great motherland. And communism is on rise. With the impact of the Great Depression, the Ming communists have started demanding further political rights, which also increased tensions between other political factions. If the Communist Party's support is too high, they will control the state power. Also, they might get control of the state. Well, we may go communist. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, is that Mao Zedong? Mao Zedong, I don't know. Well, Ming Communist Party. So, firstly, to do this path, we actually have to kill the King. Conquer the King. Therefore, the first thing is we have to get rid of the Great Depression. Okay, overcome the Great Depression, removes national spirit, Great Depression in the Ming. We're gonna do that, so let's do Dark Cloud from the north. The Qing army plans for our capital only 1 kilometer away. And now, the likelihood of war seems to be increasing. Let's go for this. Research-wise, I'm playing as always with the extended research mods. Go for industry, the SRT, and construction. Our army is, well, only 517,000 strong, so the Qing army is twice stronger, although they have lots of border to cover, which the AI will do how I know them. And our navy is also, well, weaker than their navy, which is quite sad. So let's see, our navy is only 21,000 strong, while the Qing navy is 42,000 strong. So let's get our navy into one province, into Jordan, Southern Jili. Also, well, look to our subjects. We have the Siamese, Vietnamese, Cambodians, Ming, East Indies, Laos, and Luzons as our colonies. So we have all of these nations as our colonies, so we can use their troops in case of war against the king as well. Keep that in mind. They can use their industry, their troops, everything, although they have a non-existent industry, some of them. We have Ming, East Indies, as well as here. So we have quite a bit of allies on our side. That's really nice. We can only build with 5 factories since we have to use 55% for consumer goods because of our Great Depression and our civilian law. So I think I have to build some military factories. And therefore let's build them, well, not too close in Nanning. Actually in Hong Kong. We control Macau and Hong Kong, let's build them there. Alright, that's a good plan. Factory-wise, well, we have our own infantry equipment, that's quite nice. We are also building our own ships, that's also quite nice. We have many naval dockyards, we have 18 naval dockyards in total, so we have the, well, potential to outnumber the Qing Navy and to gain complete naval supremacy in the region. We need 19 oil, let's get it from the Soviet Union, and we need 2 rubber. This will render our industry useless since we can only build with 1 factory. Yeah, nice, that's amazing. I'm gonna decide to build it in Hong Kong then, since, well, the British, they don't control it, so let's build it there. We have 3 factories, we have plenty of steel, so well, and we need infantry equipment, so let's increase that by 2. Let's also get more artillery and more motorized equipment. Alright, now our industry is not able to build more stuff. Alright, so on the highest speed, and let's see our army. Our army is 60, we have 66 divisions in total, 66. Well, our only enemy is the Qing, let's assign them there, and I don't know actually if they will attempt to, well, welcome to the Qing, to the Ming and Qing mod. In 1644, the Manchurian army invaded Ming, but did not occupy the whole of China. Chongzhen Emperor's daughter, Princess Kongjing, Zheng Chenggong, Ling Dungo, and others to turn the tide and let the Ming dynasty continue to exist in the south. After 3 centuries of great change, the 2 East Asian continent regimes still exist with a mutually hostile relationship. Up to now, China's split has been going on for nearly 300 years, and no one knows when it will be unified, or if it permanently splits. In 1986, when the bell rings, the new era is about to begin. What? The Ming still exists in 1936? Thank you, mod maker. Come, bestow a duke to him. Alright. So the Ming still exists, yeah, the Ming, you know the Ming, you may know the Ming from other games, like U4, etc. We have lots of military divisions here. Well, we have really many military divisions. We don't have proper infantry units, so let's see. We rely on these military divisions, which are not that strong, to be sad. Well, this zone is demilitarized, so they can't, well, send any soldiers there. Our infrastructure in the region is looking alright. Yeah, I'm afraid about my dockyards. I don't think the King will start a naval invasion, there's no way. If so, our navy will surely help us. We need 46,000, well, we need plenty of infantry equipment. So, Dark Cloud from the north, and Jifu Industrial Promotion Law. In order to overcome the Great Depression and promote an industrial revival, we must enact new laws. Political power plus 150. What's that? East China Sea submarine accident. A few days ago, one of our submarines trading boats, Grasshopper, was captured by the Qing army in East China Sea. The reason is that a mysterious man swimming in the sea hung onto the periscope. His call for help caused the King Destroyer to find the sub. Oh, great. But afterwards, this man rescued the submarine soldiers trapped in the Liangyung naval base and hijacked his airplane from the base and landed it back at our military airfields. Now the intelligence department has the mysterious man in custody. Do we need to investigate him? Oh, I want to? Yeah, let's do this, why not? It may be helpful. Well, I mean, to Xiao King, the name is very interesting. The report from the secret police said the man's name is Xiang Qiang. In the interrogation process, he seems to know nothing about his anomaly, repeatedly saying that he came from the People's Republic of China. That is in the future. Alright, that's interesting. After the psychiatrist appraisal, we think the man has an intermittent paranoid situation. Certainly, this may also be because he is disguised very well. We suggest further observation for several days. First, lock him up for several days to see what he does. Well, that he comes from the future. Well, that's a nice event. British agents, he finally gave us the answers we sought under pressure. Go explain. This kid is from overseas. Okay, let's pause. He is an agent of the British Military Intelligence 6. We also let him listen to BBC's radio, but he pretended not to understanding it. That's funny. However, all this is hiding but to the secret police director's eye. Sounds interesting. Report from the East China Sea Submarine Force. This important matter is not a good one. A few days ago, the King captured several submarine soldiers that were spying in the Hunan area. This action comes from Princess Aizing Jiro Jiangju, and they will have the submarine soldiers ready to tour the Beijing streets as soon as possible. This is absurd. The cabinet and Minister of Defense need to meet to discuss this, let's say. Alright, so, dynasty promotion law. The Changchong Palace Rebellion. During April 1936, at night in Xiaochong, Puji's eldest son Julang has launched a military coup d'etat with the Imperial Guard officers' support. The next evening, the coup d'etat army controls the entirety of Beijing. After Puji was forced to announce his abdication. Subsequently, in order to consolidate the power of the throne, Zhu Lam may threaten a slaughter of other members of the imperial family. This period of time for the king is destined to be bloody. The Tatars are worthy of the name Tatar. What? that's interesting. So we save them or not? The meeting is fruitless. Government officers of similar caliber strongly advocated that rescue is neither desirable nor feasible. Rescue is extremely improper, can easily trigger out war, and we can't expand the situation. The King Army is strong. If we start a war, they will quickly encircle us. Thus, in order to save the soldiers, it is very likely we have to pay more costs and could lead to a war. So, in the end, do we save them or not? Save them. Let's save them. We can't leave enemy soldiers to their death. Let's say, come on, we'll win the war if we go against the Ming. I'm confident. So let's see our army then. With the goal to capture, well, I don't care about the mountains, to capture Beijing, like capital. We have Field Marshal Zhang Zhoujiang. I'm gonna take him. Li Pijiang. Research wise, yeah, let's go for disperse industry and for the Muang-Gangju Railway. We must further strengthen the national defense, front and rear transport infrastructure conditions. Let's do this, and here wise, the commander unit is prepared. The plan is to mobilize a commando squad, not initial a naval rescue of the submarine soldiers during transport between Liangyung and Beijing. The British agent that rescued some of the soldiers has promised to lend us his strength for this mission. Meanwhile, we have assembled several elite soldiers, the capable command squad. We hoped they can rescue them smoothly and quickly. However, the risk of failure is always present. We cannot take this lightly. We must be ready for anything. Okay, let's go. After the assessment, the rescue has a 80% success chance and 20% failure chance. Well, also, I have to add here that, well, this month is really great. In terms of these events, I really like them. They are making the mod really fun to play. That's insanely nice. Well made, they deal so many events. Meanwhile, I will just request all of the forces from the Cambodians and the others. For now, since they have a non-existent industry, it will be best to tell them just to garrison my coastline, which they will surely do. So all of these units, alright. So we have 16 in total from our colonies. That's nice. Let's make a new theater and tell them to garrison our coastlines against possible king invasions. Yeah, that's our plan. Alright, 39 we need apparently. But if we lower this, we only need 11. So that's good, nice. So they spread out and move out. The rescue had failed. What? How did it fail? It had 20%. Well, our commanders attacked their prisoners, escort what they demilitarized the zone. The survivors went to... Okay, our commando attacked the prisoners, escort in the western suburbs of Liangjiang, but the rescue attempt failed. The survivors went to Zhongzhou, area span at work. According to the survivors information central network, the command unit members' heads hang from the civil wars. Regretful. The king enters the demilitarized zone. The domestic situation is unstable. The British and French concessions make it difficult for us to make a strong response, and now the king prepares for war. We need time to prepare the military. Same shameful concession. They prepare for war, the king. That's bad. We return to Huabei. During the meeting of 19... Oh, that's too long. I can't read everything out, sorry. He has too many events. I'll pause it if you have to, if you want to read it here. Oh, sure. We need the army to prepare for this. Alright, yeah. Well, we have plenty of events to read. Oh, what's that? Aizing? Who's that? Aizing, Goro, Jiangzhou, executed in Beijing. Watch passively. Once more, if you want to read it, go sure to read it. Well, the princess... I should have read it, to be honest, but whatever. Alright, well, I'm gonna save my power in case we... Well, I wanna get partial mobilization. But we are still, well... I don't know why. I want to get communist, since let's think on the strategic situation. If you get fascist, you would be probably in war with the Soviet Union and the Allies. And since I plan to conquer Japan, at least all provinces here which we have a core of, we have to go communist, because I don't want to go to war with the Soviet Union. I could, but I, well, don't want the Germans to win in this one. Anyways, it's only a spotlight, therefore, and I don't think we can even get communists in this spotlight. Well, we can try, and I should unpause the game for one instance. So, next will be the South China industrial base. We need to further strengthen our industrial strength, which will give us quite a bit of good factories. Let's modify the government finally. Let's get the Jiangxi industrial construction and the... let's get Blitzkrieg theorist. Yeah, Blitzkrieg theorist. Zhang Baili. So our army is still heavily resupplying themselves. I want to finish my ships. Do I have actually more than ships? I have light cruiser, heavy cruiser, battleship 1. Then let's build Langya class heavy cruiser. Langya class heavy cruiser and also light cruisers. Let's deploy it here in our main base in this province, which name I can't pronounce. Also the South China Sea light cruiser. There we go. Alright, also there. So our current navy, there we go. We have quite a bit of ships. We have 3 carriers, 8 battleships, 8 heavy cruisers, 9 light cruisers, 42 destroyers, and 63 submarines. Well, the king have a non-aggression pact with the Japanese, and they are already on partial mobilization. Yeah, they have really powerful industry. They are certainly overcomers at one instance. God damn it! In all areas they are stronger than we are. We have to bloody get out of the Great Depression. I would applying as the king and conquering the Ming is probably easier. I think what we have to do all of these stuff. So let's National University Enrollment Program. Education is the foundation of our country. We should expand our schooling, thus obtaining more talented people. All right. I think war may be looming against the king. Well, we can build more factories here in Guangzhou. Although with only 4 factories, that's... Oh, the justification from the king. So time is coming. Time is coming. War will be on our soil. So I have to prepare my navy and my army in its entirety against the fascists here. So submarine, we're gonna raid the seas. They're gonna be based in the province of Zhejiang. This one. Our main navy will go and fight. They will be based in this province, Taiwan. They will get the Admiral Zhang Linghao. Since we only have to control these 3 provinces, it should be fine. They will be active there. Our submarines will raid them as well. probably help our fleet if necessary too. And our troops are, our coastline is garrisoned. I will detach one unit from here, the 5th, 4th Division. Let's detach him and send him to Gaojuing, since I don't want that they'll capture Taiwan. You never know what the enemy intends to do. Our army is weak with only 517,000, so the war may be a bloody one, I can tell you that. We have unassigned divisions, although only one. Oh, the war is certainly, well, not going to go well for us, since the king's industry and, well, army is way stronger than ours. We have a stronger navy though, so that might help us. Let's concentrate our airfield in our air force in this province of Hubei. We only have a little bit of reserve fighters. I'm gonna call. Okay, they can stay there. Fighter dive bomber and medium bomber. I intend to bomb the capital of Beijing. With them, let's see. Let's send them all into this province to Salanjili. Let's combine them. So, if you want to go to war quite early, this mod is the correct one for you. Although we are still non-aligned, so yeah, the first thing, anyways, I will have to get rid of the Great Depression. Like, we could get so many new factories, and just imagine you going with the Great Depression to a war. And then the enemy is surely superior to you. Yeah, they mustered troops around the border, so this war will be a harsh war for us. I really don't want to do own management of the troops, because there's simply such a superior amount. Our tanks won't be even able to properly break through. Although it would be a smart idea perhaps to unassign the tanks and grant them under our own HQ control. Let's send them all to this province of Jiangsu. I want to use them to break. We didn't even strengthen the line of defense. We should have done it. Strengthen the line of defense. Where is the focus even? Where is strengthen the line of defense? Is it? I even don't know. Strengthen. Oh, I should have done it, of course. Well, I didn't see this, so you should strengthen the Hubei defense lines, certainly. Because it would even give you a nice national spirit of possible war. But we have... Did we get the spirit? No, we did not. So I would certainly encourage you to go for this spirit. Now, I think our nation is maybe doomed. Because our army is not really able to attack. I'm just gonna assign them there. Fine. Let's see how the war develops in the fast pace. Beijing assigned them close. That's actually strategic bombing. Our air force should get active in our area at least. Dive bomber should bomb the enemy to get at least some certain degree of air management. We have to divide you up, send you into Sichuan. You go into our province. Active you bomb the enemy in Shanxi and Gazhou. Well said, our navy has to go on the highest level of alert, actually into battle readiness to search and destroy the Ming fleets, and our submarine fleet has to raid the sea with this large convoy raiding. Let's convoy raiding. There we go, convoy raiding in these provinces. There we go. They are being attacked. We have to enact hierarchy, which will give us a higher organization. And the Ming and Qing war breaks out. Today, shocking news from the Far East. In the early morning, the king launches an attack on the Ming dynasty's Yunnan defense line. This is an unexpected but reasonable war, as the Qing regime continued military production during this time. But no one knew the situation would escalate so quickly. Now, the question becomes, will this turn out as the previous wars did between Qing and Ming and become a stalemate? Or will one side reunite the whole of China as one? The army is certainly pushing through. We have to mount a counter-attack if possible. Although the enemy losses are far... Oh, it's called our all allies, so they are called. I think, no, I won't mount a counter-attack. Stop counter-attacking. We don't have the equipment to support our troops. Yeah, we're using low supply. This, I really can't change that. I really want to add you some artillery, at least to give you some better strength for artillery as well. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we need heavy amounts. Yeah, our units got broke through, so yeah. The Ming certainly have it harder than the other enemies. Certainly harder. Why is it on low supply? It's a low supply. Come on, you have to attack, to counter-attack the enemy. Yeah. Or Stalin said the best attack is defense. Well, this war certainly made me unprepared. So let's go for defend the motherland. Well, we have to defend the motherland as well, but we have to get rid of the Great Depression first, I would say. Let's move to factory south. our navy, did we won the battle? There's destroyer, victory, yeah. We have at least complete naval supremacy, but we are getting thoroughly attacked by the enemy. Their loss is 216,000 already, so at one point they can't sustain their losses anymore. Laos, well, since we have marvelous supremacy, I can redirect my troops, I can redirect my entire army of garrisoning the battlefield as well to the battlefields. I need all of their troops, all of Siam, I need all of your troops. Request forces, they have 0. Well, they have some troops, we can gladly use them in the war effort, as well as the East Indians, they have 7. That's nice, so let's get these 7 all into our province here. Alright. Where do they have air superiority? On this province here, our fighters, yeah, we have somewhat air superiority. Who dares wins? Well, I don't really intend to plan on this attack in the mountains. Yeah, you would have to do some thorough management to avoid this. What's that? Naval combat? Yeah, we should win nevertheless. And victory once more, and victory once more. Yeah, we have complete naval supremacy at least, therefore cutting off the king's supply line. So in the long term, I'm certain that you would win this effort against the king. I want to change my efforts. I want to tell my troops here, which are 36, let's tell them to be 31. Yeah, that's quite a bit. Instead 21 to not attack, just to garrison the area here, because it's so mountainous, it's not worth attacking them. I think, at least. That makes sense. Attacking in the mountains is always bad. Just to stay here, and my main army will continue the thrust. I have to remake the battle goal and continue the thrust. Well, we are actually pushing inside the king. How? I mean, we have such a weak army compared to theirs, but we are still pushing in. Let's get him for better entrenchments. Well, the war is currently a stalemate. We lost 143,000, they lost 325,000. Yeah. Now, soon we can get rid of the Great Depression as a king. But us being in war, we actually have to, well, get some proper land doctrines up and going. Alright, well, saying this, our troops, oh no, we instead of their troops, that's nice. One of them go and capture these provinces. Saying that, I'll take a cut here, I'm far above my time. So this mod is really interesting to say the least. Why are the Soviets helping them? Well, the Japanese, or maybe the Soviets, well, whatever. This mod is really interesting, go sure to check it out. Links will be included down below in the description. So thank you all for watching me, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Sacred, and I'm out. Have a good day and see you next time.